Actually, it's not for kids.
What's the ESPN song? Like, bum, 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 bum.
That's just the How I Met Your Mother theme.
Well, Tom, we're back for another great episode of The Big Game. Today we got 8 teams competing. The Great Monopoly Killer.
Oh, you were doing like the dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun, burn,
oh, that's what it is.
Dun, dun, like, and then it's like, hey, Super Bowl.
Ba-ba-ba-bum, ba-ba-ba-bum.
Yeah.
I'm here with my co-host, Chips Tom Bowers III. Second quarterback for the North Atlantic Virginia Dolphins. You've competed in these Monopoly Killer competitions for a number of years, right?
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, you were the previous killer of Monopoly.
I'm trying to come up with a joke that somehow strings together Killer Mike with Killer Monopoly, but there's like nothing. It's like Killer Mikeopoly. There's nothing there.
That's it. You know what? You nailed it.
I'm Killer Mikeopoly and you're Action Johnson, but like...
You mean Action Bronson?
Action Bronson. Wait. What am I saying? I'm Killer Mikeopoly.
Wait, this will be funny. Tom, name 10 rappers.
Does Brockhampton count? I'm kidding.
Mr. Brockhampton. But yeah, we're going to talk. Why am I talking about the topic? We haven't even introduced the show. Welcome to Shelf Stable, a podcast celebrating board games that have stood the test of time. I'm your host, Kenny Katayama.
And I'm your other host, Tom Bowers. Today, the featured topic is the ultimate Monopoly Killer Showdown. Who's going to do it once and for all? One shot, one kill. But before we talk about that, let's just talk about games we've been playing recently or whatever.
Tom, I got to play Bohnanza from 1997. This is designed by Uwe Rosenberg. This version published by Rio Grande.
The Rio Grande.
You might be wondering why we're talking about Bohnanza once again. I was gifted a very kind and generous gift of like every Bohnanza expansion there ever was from some good friends.
How many are there?
I have 5. I'm sure there's more. I read through the rules for all of them because I'm crazy like that. And then I played some practice hands of some of them and also played all the solo modes that they had available for some of the expansions.
I like the idea of you like playing against yourself, just like, okay, I'll give you the soybean, but only if you call me daddy from now on. And then like the other version of you on the other side of the table.
Calling myself daddy in the mirror. I'll preface that not all the expansions are equal. Some are better than others. One of them is a mini expansion that adds deal cards to the game. And the deals are like, I owe you the first bean of said type in the future and stuff like that. This is just what we do already. Like, why are they? So I don't think we'll be using that one. That one I didn't actually get to try. I like look through the cards. I'm like, where's the one that says you have to call me master or you have to call me daddy? And like, they didn't have one. They didn't have like write-in cards. Bona Nostra, that one's not worth getting. It's literally the cards that say the stuff that you say with your words anyway.
The only thing I can think is that like there's actual vouchers for fulfilling promises made in the future, right? Which the original official rule set said that like future offers are not binding, right?
Yeah, and it's like, you can just change the rules. Like, I don't understand. Anyway, the reason I wanted to talk about it, though, is because of one specific expansion, and that is the Gangsters expansion. So the Gangsters expansion simulates interacting and exchanging with not really an automa, but like a simplified market of cards so that you can play Bohnanza solo. And I actually quite like playing solo games, and I do quite often play games solo. Bohnanza is the first solo game that has made me kind of question, like, what am I even doing here? This is depressing. I look depressing. Like, I literally looked up at myself while I was playing the Bohnanza solo mode, and I was just like, you got to take your sweatpants off and go for a jog, my guy. Like,
It's like seeing your own face on like the DS screen when it loads and there's like a black window reflecting the sad double chin you have looking down at your DS.
Yeah, exactly. I've played a simulated solo mode of Sidereal Confluence.
That's...
And I had a good time. I played this at my parents' house on the carpet on the floor. And they were like, honey, are you okay?
Why were you doing it on your parents' house floor?
I had just gotten my own copy of Sidereal and nobody wanted to play with me yet. And so I was making sure I understood all the factions and I was just so excited to play it. But anyway, somebody designed a web app so that they could simulate people offering you deals and exchanging with them. And then you just run the admin for those simulated players. And I had a great time with it.
Wow.
But for some reason, this Gangsters Bohnanza expansion didn't give me the same thing. I was like, do you want this? And then I would respond to myself like, well, yes, or no thanks. I will put that in the discard. Then the gangster beans take some beans from you and you're like, oh no. And then the game's over. Why are we doing this? So this isn't a critique of the expansion. My critique of the expansion is like, I think it's actually pretty solid. If you really just want to play through the mechanisms of Bohnanza and you don't have people to play with, or maybe you only have one person because there is a dual mode with this expansion too, I could see it being good for that. But personally, for what I'm looking for in games, this made me really kind of sit and reevaluate my life decisions when I was playing it. So yeah, it didn't give me the same experience of like the punchy puzzle crunch that you usually get when you play solo game, where you have as much time as you need, but you can like optimize your route. I really just felt like I had forced myself to sit down and play a game of Bohnanza by myself. And, you know, because I didn't have any friends or something like that. It gave me the feeling that sometimes people perceive people having when they play solo games, like people who aren't familiar with board games.
I'm sad picturing the sad version of you playing Sad Nanza.
Do you want these beans? Well, yeah, I guess, because I'm the only other person here. Oh, wait, I'm myself.
It's like insider trading. Like, I don't know. Like there's some metaphor for something Microsoft is doing with itself.
It's Wall Street post pluribus is what it is.
Yeah.
Like the singularity has happened. And it's just like, for some reason, we need to uphold Wall Street.
Yeah.
I did like a few of the expansions, so maybe we'll talk about some of those in the future when I get to play them with other people.
I got to play Magical Athlete from 2003, asterisk. This is designed originally by Takashi Ishida, most recently updated, shall we say, by Richard Garfield, and published by CMYK, the original version, of course, being published by Z-Man. Magical Athlete is making big waves around here. We've already been over the fact that this is only like shelf stable on a technicality.
Yeah, disclaimer.
I was whelmed. I think I'd rather play Uma Musume.
You look like you wanted to leave the table halfway through. And we didn't even play a full game. We played 2 rounds.
What did I miss of the full game?
There's 4 rounds, not 2.
Holy fuck.
We had a very limited amount of time left at our location. So I made folks do a closed draft and just pick on vibes, as opposed to studying the meta and figuring out what character to pick from there. I don't think that Magical Athlete is its best in that environment. It's actually taking away what I consider to be the most fun aspect of the game, outside of just seeing how these wacky combinations play out.
I feel like I could have done the full draft, and I see what you're saying, where it's like that's where like any if all decision making occurs, is actually drafting these magical athletes into your roster.
Yeah, you get 4 in the full game.
All right. Admittedly, that would probably hit differently a little bit, but I just... For drafting, there's other things. For racing, there's other things. And for a roll and move, there's other things that I'd rather play. So it kind of like is checking 0 boxes, I think, even still. But I'll admit that I haven't played the true game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think this is the game for you. Even before you tried it, I was like, I don't think Tom is going to like this. the funny thing is I feel like your kids would love it and then they would want to play it all the time and you would be like, no. So I don't recommend showing this to them.
Well, I was going to say, actually, I think that if my kids are having a fun time playing a board game, then I can have more of a fun time. And I was definitely making a time of it. I felt like it was missing gambling or something, which I've heard there's like this other game that CMYK came out with that does something like this, but no one's ever played it or talked about it. It's a very vague title that people have mentioned.
Yeah, maybe people will talk about it more in 2026, but I didn't hear about it at all in 2025. So
yeah, and it's hard to tell whether it'll stand the test of time because I think it's a new game too. So it's probably for the best that I can't remember what it's called.
I think it's a lot of fun to see the interactions play out, but there's only so many times you can do that before it feels like you're kind of going through the movements. Especially when, I think we revisited some of the abilities that I saw in a previous play. It was good because I was able to maintain and remember to use them more frequently and make sure they trigger. But also it was I'm not seeing something super different this time around in terms of the interactions.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of there with you.
Yeah, it was all over the place, but it was funny.
The art is amazing.
That's the biggest thing. And, the goofiness and the shapes of the pieces. I'm never really against this game getting pulled out if I'm low key buzzed, right? So that's definitely the mindset I have to be in though to enjoy this. So, it's a game. Richard Garfield bringing this one back to me is the James Cameron is just making Avatar movies nonstop now after making really good movies for years. It's like that. It's he's just doing whatever the fuck he wants at this point.
Tom, I got to play Faiyum from 2020. This is designed by Friedemann Friese, published by 2F Spiel. I think it's also Rio Grande in the States. Everything's Rio Grande over here.
It's all Rio Grande.
It's all Rio Grande or Zedman. Faiyum is a engine building. It's a hard one to describe. It's a game that takes place in Egypt where there's cards that come out and cards do stuff. There's no way to get points initially. You're just doing stuff until all of a sudden the lines of play add up and then you start to build a scoring engine. The best way I can describe it is if Concordia and Flux had a baby, and that might put some people on edge, but let me assure you, it's really good. The final product is just mwah. I very much enjoy this game. I have played it a number of times now, and every time it's kind of amazing how different the board state develops and how different avenues and strategies develop across the the different players. It's a shared board. You don't own anything on the board, so people can kind of collaborate-ish on what's going on, and that emerges certain victory conditions, certain things. It also has the Concordia thing where you take back your cards into your hand by triggering the refresh step. So it's not necessarily a deck builder in the sense that you have a deck you shuffle. It's more you play cards from your hand and you can play any of the cards that you have available. When you want to take your cards back, you trigger the admin action. And then, there's just a bunch of different things. You can throw parade. You can have the pharaoh establish their location. You can manipulate the economy so that you're grifting the market. And at the beginning, you just kind of set up the board. You're here's how you play this game. You buy cards, you play cards, you take them back. And then people go, how do you win? And then you shrug. And I think there's something really special about that. Flux is not a good comparison. Innovation is a good comparison. It's a game that has a lot of random, crazy actions that come out of each of the unique cards, but it's smarter, right? Because Flux kind of has that connotation of it's lol random. I think there's more thought into how you compose your engine based on these cards.
Flux for people who enjoy Rick and Morty.
Yes. If you think innovation is too in your face or too confrontational, I think this is Flux for people who like building engines, or innovation for people who like building engines.
Interesting. You've mentioned this one a handful of times, and I've been oh yeah, that is a game. that I would play sometime.
It's one that looks like wholly uninteresting. Like the box cover doesn't really capture you. The board, when it's laid out, isn't really like captivating. But when you play it, first of all, you're instantly like, oh, I see the appeal. And then after that, you know, it kind of grows on you.
You know what I really want to see in real life?
What?
Someone's like Friedemann Friese collection, where like every copy they bought in the language where the name of the game is still starts with the letter F.
Oh, you know? Yeah, just have them all lined up.
It's just like all the fucking green boxes, the letter F.
That'd be really cool.
There's got to be someone out there who's doing it. If you're that person and you're listening to this, please at me on Blue Sky or email us at shellstablecast@gmail.com.
Yeah, that'd be a pretty cool picture. Yeah, Faiyum continues to delight. Faiyum 2020.
Cool game. I'm going to take us all the way back to ancient times, like quite literally. I'm talking about Mahjong. I don't even know if we know when it was invented.
I think it existed before humanity.
Yeah, probably. That would make a lot of sense. Because you have to be an alien to understand this game. Just kidding. I think what's happened is that I've run out of fucks to give for games that have like ancient cred. I've fucked around in chess to a significant degree. I fucked around with Go, actually, to a certain extent. I fucked around with poker, of course. I'm still doing that. It's ask me how it's going. Then Mahjong, I come to it and I'm like, I get it on some very rudimentary level, and I have yet to play that session where I go, the appeal. And I don't know if it's just like I just got to get on the YouTubes and like watch a bunch of nerds explain way too many heuristics for me to soak in, and then I attempt to apply them at my next session, and then it goes really badly, and then I go back to YouTubes and like listen to a bunch of nerds to say the same heuristics, and now I'm like, now that I failed to implement them, I know what they're talking about. And so forth, because that's happened with a lot of these other games. So maybe that's all it takes. But it's going to be either this or backgammon, I think, and then I'm done. You know, the gates are closed on these ancient games. Yeah.
Were you discarding tiles to the middle or in front of you, like so that you could preserve the order that they were discarded in?
It was like in front of us, but then people could play out of turn to pick up what you threw away.
Yeah, so that sounds like Riichi rules. I am a big fan of Mahjong, but I've had that game in my family. I remember watching my dad play like an old Windows 98 application and being fascinated with it, and then later teaching myself with my roommates how to play. To be clear, the Windows 98 game was not the one that comes built in on the computers. I'm saying this because I know somebody's going to be like, well, that version is not actually Mahjong. It's just a tile matching game.
Oh, yeah.
And then coming full circle and just playing with my family at home. It's funny you brought this one up because I played a number of games of Mahjong with my family over the last 2 weekends, and I had not played with them in a very long time.
Back to basics in a sense.
Yeah.
Did your dad completely crush you every time?
He did really well. It's really hard for me to give a fair evaluation of Riichi Mahjong, given that like it has such of an important like impact on me personally, because I see a lot of what you're saying. First of all, there's a whole lot of bullshit rules in there, like rules that feel like, oh, you know, you draw clockwise around the table, but then you play counterclockwise. Don't ask me why. So that's the first downside. The second one is like you're still functionally playing a rummy game, and it's an incredibly like deep rummy game. But if you don't like rummy games, this isn't the one that's going to break you and make you go, wow, actually, I love rummy. So at the same time, like, even though I understand why you might not like it, I'm just like, this game is so good.
I'm not sure exactly if it's like, oh, I hate this so much as like, I'm still not getting it. I do kind of fuck with the random rituals that go on with this, though, honestly.
Can we do a thought experiment where I try to convince you of what's good about it from the perspective of a poker player?
Sure, yeah.
Mahjong has gambling, but the form of gambling is different and the same as poker. And that's what's simultaneously attractive and potentially less attractive about it to people who like poker.
Mm-hmm.
You're forming hands, and stronger hands will beat weaker hands. But there's also a push your luck aspect that is different from the push your luck aspects in poker. In Mahjong, the push your luck aspect is how long do you stay in to form a juicier hand without getting hit by a weaker hand? Or do you go out with a weak hand to deny a hand that's dangerous on the other side of the table? If you want to draw an analogy, instead of folding in Mahjong, the way you quote unquote fold is by starting to discard tiles from your hand that you were trying to assemble to functionally stay safe and not get hit with somebody else's hand. My dad, if he just draws the tile he needs to complete his hand, everybody pays him divided by 3. But if you discard the tile he needs, you are screwed. You pay the entire amount to him directly. So if you're quote unquote folding in Mahjong, you just start discarding safe tiles, and you absolutely do not care about trying to form a hand because your goal is not to win that round. It is to be safe from whatever hand is going to win. Similarly, if you want to up the ante in Mahjong, you don't put more money on the table. You stay in the game even though you've already won, and you try to form a better hand. Or you intentionally go for a more ambitious hand given what you have currently, because even though it's less likely, it's going to be way better of a payout than just like the minimum requirements needed. So this is the part that differs from poker. If you're worried about a potentially really strong hand, a thing you can do in Mahjong is that you can intentionally go out with a weak hand to deny that player from finishing that strong hand. And that's where the reading of your opponents to try to figure out what they're going for, the understanding of the value of your hand versus opponent's hands and what could potentially be in play given the discards, all that stuff starts to unravel into an extremely deep game that feels like a 3D version of poker, in my opinion. You know how you like looking at the river and figuring out what people could potentially have and what could be the strongest hand and what's optimal in certain situations?
Uh-huh.
Imagine if you had 4 rivers and the rivers are self-dictated. That's what's going on in Riichi Mahjong, because everybody is discarding tiles and discarding them in a sequence where you can follow them over the course of time. So you know those are tiles they do not want. Those are tiles that are not in their hand. And that gives you an idea of like what hand they're going for and how close they might be to completing that hand.
I'm definitely not at that level.
And that's another big downside.
Maybe one day we get there.
It takes a lot of time to get there. Yeah, I mean, that was a lot of me running my mouth. I apologize.
Well, no, I appreciate your attempt to persuade me. And I'm like, okay, sure. I believe you that there's like a point in this game at which you go like, oh, I see everything now. I'm not sure yet that there's room in my brain for both. I do think, though, that if I like played this online, even if it was just against the computer or just, found some Mahjong app where it was like, play against the computer, then maybe I would like start to appreciate it enough to be like, okay, I understand. But not very likely to happen, I'll tell you.
It's just one of those games that requires a huge amount of investment. And until you get that investment, you probably don't really get the payoff. And so it's really hard to vouch for it given that.
That's the thing is like, I already got Magic the Gathering. I already got poker itself, at some point you got to draw a line.
Yeah.
And I think Mahjong's on the other end. I'll sit down and get owned at this, I guess. So, I don't mind so much.
That was Mahjong.
100 games to play before you die.
Okay, Kenny, it's time for the part of the podcast where we talk about the 100 games that Dick Van Dyke was required to play by law before he turned 100 years old. And game number 62 on that list that he undoubtedly played, probably when he was 62 years old, is 5 Tribes, the Djinns of Naqala from 2014. This is designed by Bruno Cathala, kind of a famous name there, published by Days of Wonder. Kenny, why is this on the list?
This one is on the list to test you, to see if you can actually complete it before you hit 100 because of all the analysis paralysis that's associated with finishing a game of this.
Yeah.
This is on for the Naqala mechanic. I'm going to be honest, I don't know that I feel as hot about this one as when it got on the list.
Okay.
Because I think that it was unique enough and representative of its small niche enough to make it on the list at the time. But I think both you and I have continuously cooled on this game. It's cool that you play this little Naqala game that triggers Euro-like elements. But do we even need to represent Naqala on the list? I almost feel like you'd rather just have Naqala on the list if you really want to represent this.
I don't know, though, because you're saying I've cooled on this game. I think that is true overall, just in the sense that it looks as if it's going to be a middleweight game. You pull it out, it says fucking Days of Wonder on the cover. You're like, oh, this is like Ticket to Ride. This is light. It's going to be breezy, easy peasy, Catan level max. No, this game is Great Western Trail in scale and depth of shit going on. I don't think I even mind the downtime all that much because you need the time to try and hope and plan that like the meeples that you want to pick up are gonna be where they need to be for you to like make the line that you need.
To be clear, I'm not saying it's a bad game. I'm just saying it feels weird on this list.
I respect it. I think that like repping Naqala just kind of does something that is needed to some extent. And honestly, also you're repping Bruno Cathala here.
That's true.
So it's kind of like two birds, one stone for one thing.
Yeah,
but
you know what? Actually, that's actually a really good point. I think this is the only Bruno Cathala game on... If that's the case, then yeah, it stays on because even though I don't think it's his most exemplary game, it is one of his big games. And so I almost feel like for that alone, it should stay on the list. Huh, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, it's funny that I'm the one telling you why it's on the list. There's that to it. And like you said, it's not necessarily, well, if you needed to have a game that was like by every great designer, I'd probably pick King Domino for Bruno Cathala. Just if I was selling this to normies.
King Domino is definitely the most this list kind of game. So if we really don't feel strongly about the Naqala, then we replace this with King Domino. I think that's the only game of his that really supersedes Five Tribes.
But I was going to say, I kind of like Five Tribes on the list because yes, it's kind of a weird game on this list overall, but the ultimate objective is to kind of like explore what games are capable of for someone who maybe is entering this hobby and they want to get to like level 2. And I think Five Tribes earns its spot. And, you know, you can argue like, oh, it's just barely, or like, it has its flaws or whatever. But at the end of the day, like he did something with that Naqala mechanic that is a lot more interesting than Trajan. So at least there's that.
I think Finca deserves some recognition here. Yeah, but I think the fact that this is both Naqala and Bruno Cathala, you know, I was getting cold feet, but you convinced me. You got me back. Five Tribes staying on the list.
All right,
62.
We got him, boys. Yeah, let's go. All right, enough yapping, enough bullshit. Stop talking about Bruno Cathala. No one cares. LP, no more rapping. Okay, no more Killer Mike, no more Run the Jewels, none of that. All right, get out of here. It's time to get down into the meat and potatoes, the real weeds of the podcast, the part of the show that people come back week after week to listen to, the main topic of this week's episode. That's the part people show up for. And this week we're doing a Monopoly Killer Showdown. It's a bunch of people that came to kill Monopoly. Monopoly hosted that tournament and then tricked them into shooting at each other. It's like we put them in a saw trap and now all these games are going to slash and attack each other.
A lot of people have been asking for clarification on this one. Both online and offline. You know, how does it work? Is Monopoly going to be one of the... what are the rules? We don't know. We don't know what the rules are, okay? We're going to figure it out as we go, okay?
We're podcasting. We are not... What's the term?
Yeah, this isn't something that's going to be used by a committee to distribute board games in, like, mass market retail stores. Like, chill out for a second, okay? We're just going on vibes. The rule is whatever gives us the best content.
It's podcasting, not technical writing. That's what I was trying to fucking say this whole time.
We are doing a double elimination bracket format. I'll link it.
Yeah.
So people can see
We picked 8 games. We're going to throw them at each other. And then I'm going to take up arms for one of them. Kenny will take up arms for the other one. It's going to be like piloting mech suits. And we're going to punch each other as if we're like the games themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to figure out which one gets to be on top of this list.
Yep.
I don't know.
We randomly pitted them up against each other. Traditional, like a battle anime. They're just going to go up the line. Except there's a loser's bracket. For those who aren't familiar,
I already compared it to mecha anime. What are you doing? Now you're undermining it with battle anime.
Sorry.
Now it's Yu Yu Hakusho.
Oh, sorry. It's a mecha anime.
Gundam's not good enough for you?
No, you know what? I take it back. I'm sorry.
I'm just mad because you actually made the better analogy. It's a fucking battle tournament. It's like that part of Friiren that everyone watched, or
it's the Hunter x Hunter Tower.
Hunter x Hunter. It's the
they
arena.
learn about men.
Yeah, Yu Yu Hakusho, Dark Tournament arc.
As far as how we determine the winner, I think we're going to factor everything. How close is it to Monopoly? Whether it's a better game overall, how close in theme, if it's easy to teach to somebody who would want to play Monopoly, everything we can think of. Because that was another thing. Like, are you determining it based on weight or what? And we're going to factor it all in.
I don't fucking know, man. They're going to tournament. They're fighting each other. They're like anime characters. Yeah. It's like Naruto, okay? Just buckle
shall we
up.
Introduce our first 2 fighters?
Yeah. In the first corner, we got Pan Am. In the second corner, Waterfall Park, also known as Chinatown.
So why do you think Pan Am is the Monopoly killer?
I think Pan Am is the Monopoly killer because it is about stonks. It's about making your stonks go up and acquiring the most stonk before the end of the game, which Monopoly isn't really about stonks directly, but it's about real estate stonk. And Pan Am,
I mean, it's money manipulation.
Exactly. Pan Am has a similar vibe essentially overall, where it's like turn of the century industrialization, like we're taking over the town, and it's Pan Am, so you're literally trying to monopolize, or rather you're watching all of your business get monopolized by Pan Am itself over the course of the game. And I just think it like carries a lot of the vibes while not being too completely overcomplicated for someone who maybe has only ever actually played Monopoly before to come into. So that's my pitch.
Yeah, it's funny because I think it's including the auction rules. I think Monopoly is probably in a similar weight, like maybe a little bit lighter than Pan Am. But if you try to introduce Pan Am to somebody that's only played Monopoly, they're going to be like, this is too much. I don't understand. So that'd be my argument. I would like to propose in the second corner, we have Waterfall Park / Chinatown. So same thing. You got money being manipulated. You're trying to get a bunch. But I think the big thing with this one is there's also property and there's also negotiation, which I'd say is less of a factor in Monopoly, but the game is sold as having some negotiation to a certain extent.
Right.
So you're wheeling and dealing and you're trying to collect groups. And similarly, you're trying to collect sets that connect to each other. So I think there's quite a bit of similarity here as far as Chinatown and Monopoly.
I guess like my biggest issue with Waterfall Park, if you were coming from the Monopoly player background, is that there's no guide rails to that game.
It is a lot more open.
Exactly. And so it's overwhelming in a different way that you sit there and you go like, I don't know, is this really worth that or the other thing? And then like you're just calculating expected value
counter
or whatever.
Argument, you have that same, I don't know, is this worth that when you're deciding whether to outbid someone on a worker spot in Pan Am?
No, because I think the take that element is like pretty intrinsic. People have been playing Sorry for years. You have these little Sorry shaped pieces. You just go like, fuck you, it's mine now.
It's whether you should go there or not. I mean, you could do the same thing. You just say, no, I'm not going to sell that to you. I
don't think people are going to be overly concerned with the shoulds necessarily, as long as like it's fun to kick people out of doing what they thought they were going to get to do. And then it's
I
not
see
even
what
that
you're
bad
saying,
for the
yeah.
player that got kicked out because they're like, sweet, I get to replace this worker.
Yeah. Yeah, I am legitimately leaning with Waterfall Park / Chinatown on this, and it sounds like you're leaning with Pan Am, like outside of us trying to vouch for them specifically. But
Are we talking about like Chinatown or Waterfall Park? Because I feel like the theme and vibe of Waterfall Park is not as close, but Chinatown is closer on the theme.
let's say it's Chinatown.
So if we're talking like actual Chinatown, I'm like, I could begrudgingly respect it, but I genuinely think Pan Am is more satisfying and more eye-opening. That's my gotcha. My surprise left hook is that you're going to see those plastic little planes and you're going to watch as they build up like a route across the world. And you go, man, this is hot.
That's
This
a
is doing
fair
something
argument.
for me. And the next thing you know, they're playing 18XX games.
Pan Am from a table presence is definitely more something that would appeal to somebody who's played Monopoly and likes Monopoly. Chinatown, you'd have to convince them. All right,
Yeah.
let's just pen it in. Let's put Pan Am. I'm cool with that.
Ding, ding, ding. Pan Am gets there.
Next one.
We got Monopoly Deal versus Machikoro.
Yeah. Why do you think Monopoly Deal deserves to kill Monopoly?
The future is now, old man. That's what Monopoly Deal said to Monopoly. Monopoly Deal is literally Monopoly Sun, but it's faster, plays very similarly, has hilarious moments of being like, gotcha.
You've famously said in the past it has the aesthetic.
It's got the aesthetic. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, no game is more aesthetically like Monopoly than Monopoly Deal on our list of contenders.
Mm-hmm.
Here's why I think Machikoro might be a good one. You roll dice and stuff happens, except the stuff that you have happening, you have a little bit more agency over. It's not just whether I buy a property or not. You get to pick which properties you buy. There's even the aspect with the red cards where somebody will roll and, oh no, they landed on your red card, so you owe them money. And, you build up until you have like a monopoly of money, and then you can just close out the game. That's my argument.
Boo. I don't think I have like strong counter arguments against Machikoro. The only caveat, if any, is that if you're playing Machikoro as written with the static options for purchase, my understanding is that there is a near optimal strategy.
Oh, probably, yeah.
In players that know Machikoro versus players that don't, it's just going to be like, well, how did you win?
Well, you just play the river.
Then you're explaining like, oh, this is like a modified version. I guess like people are already coming to it with the house rules of Monopoly. Like they don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Monopoly Deal got that aesthetic though.
You just tell them that's the way you play Machikoro. You don't have to tell them it's a modified version. Nobody goes like, oh, free parking isn't in the rules. Except like us nerds that play board games.
All I can tell you is that between the two, me personally, I would rather play Monopoly Deal.
I would rather play Monopoly Deal, but I don't think it's the pick.
What? That's all right. I think you're wrong. But you know what? We got a losers bracket for a reason, I guess. Monopoly Deal going to come out on top of that one. I'll concede, I guess. Machikoro
You'll
can
concede.
have it.
Okay.
Yeah, because you kind of got me with the red buildings charging people rent. Like, that is a thing.
All right. Our third of the 4 fights. Power Grid versus Acquire.
Ooh, this is spicy. I'm going to pick Power Grid.
Okay. I'll just play devil's advocate because I could go either way on this one.
Okay. Well, here's the thing, I guess. They both come with paper money. I guess it depends on the version of Acquire you have. I think Power Grid's paper money is more colorful, arguably. The other thing Power Grid has going on for it are the little wooden tokens, although Acquire has those little plastic pieces. Damn it.
Are you only going off of components for this one? Next, we'll talk about the box.
The thing is that Power Grid does auctions correct. It like shows you how to actually have an auction where things make
matter.
sense. Yeah. And like the numbers are generally like pretty plain to see. The objectives are clear, and the whole like turn order matters stuff I think is really gonna like delight people who have not been exposed to such fantastical concepts before. Among our fans, there's one fan in particular who is Power Grid's biggest hater, but they're wrong. Power Grid is really cool.
In defense of Acquire is like the most commonly referenced game as a replacement for Monopoly. That's just facts.
That's just facts. Bro, that's ad populum, man. Like, that's like a logic fallacy.
Yeah, this is my Ben Shapiro moment. Acquire is about gaining properties and investing in those properties and then having them pay off. And then taking all the money from other people who didn't do the good properties. Like, it's literally Monopoly, but with the depth. Maybe it doesn't look as pretty as some of the other games, but hey, maybe it doesn't look as pretty as Power Grid, but hey, you know what? It looks like Monopoly because they both are ugly.
Let's just say, hypothetically, you're getting a group together and they are like, let's play a board game. You're really going to whip out hardcore player elimination Acquire over Power Grid, which is more
over
like soft
elimination. Yeah.
elimination.
What? Sorry. At least in one of them, they tell you they're killing you, you know? In the other one, you're like, oh, don't worry, you're not going to die, but you've been dead for like 2 hours. What are you talking about, Tom?
But people like they don't care because they like
Grid.
look down at their little windmill farm and they're like, you know what? I'm saving the earth. And they're
board gamers don't care. Monopoly players do care.
I beg to differ. I feel like all I can say is I feel like I'd have a harder time getting Acquire to the table with Monopoly heads than Power Grid.
I think they're both tough. I think whatever moves on in this bracket probably loses in the next one. But
no doubt.
Yeah. But like, what do you do here, you know?
Power Grid. I don't know.
I like Power Grid more than Acquire. I like both. So you want to just put a Power Grid? I'm kind of okay.
Yes. Yeah, why not?
The tiebreaker is if we like it or not.
Yeah.
Or which one we like more.
Sorry, Sid Saxon.
Power Grid moves on. Acquire in the losers bracket. And our final matchup.
Lords of Vegas versus For Sale.
Yeah, so I can speak to Lords of Vegas.
Okay.
You are buying property. You're hoping that the property pays off to get money, so you buy more property. Rolling dice, gambling, except it's functionally you going and doing those things that you do from Monopoly, but it makes sense in the board game world. It's like the board game version of Monopoly, which I know is a sentence that makes no sense, but you understand what I mean by that sentence.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I'd say just give this one to Lords of Vegas because For Sale is a great game about literally buying properties.
It doesn't really feel like Monopoly though.
No, it doesn't feel like Monopoly at all. It is a game that you can introduce to just about anybody, and they will be like, whoa, this is Pog, especially when the checks come out and they're like, oh, I get it now. You know, there's a lot of fun to be had in For Sale, but I think Lords of Vegas actually strikes a lot closer to the heart of what even made Monopoly like the best-selling board game in the first place. And I haven't even played it, so that's the other problem here.
Yeah, that's the tough disclaimer here. Neither of us have played Lords of Vegas. We've played all these other games.
Played it? Why the fuck is it on the list at all?
No, because it's like very commonly touted as like a Monopoly killer. So I think it makes sense.
We're saying Lords of Vegas should...
full disclosure, a game we haven't played should win in this particular part of the bracket.
Everything I know about it suggests that it's going to be a lot of fun. So we got to fix this.
I do know the general how to play. Like, I'm not completely clueless.
No, yeah.
I watched some YouTube videos.
Yeah, you're buying your hotels, you are installing your slot machines, and you're rolling your dice. It's like It's crazy.
Yeah. And then you go to free parking and you collect all the money in the middle. Congratulations to Pan Am, Machikoro, Power Grid, Lords of Vegas. You are moving on. Losers bracket. Let's do these quickly. Chinatown or Monopoly Deal?
Monopoly Deal.
Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah, Monopoly Deal for sure. Monopoly Deal moves on to the losers bracket. The winner of the losers.
Yep.
And then acquire or for sale?
For sale. Redemption.
No,
chance.
I think acquire. Not because, look, I like for sale more than acquire, but acquire is more of a monopoly killer than for sale is.
Yeah, okay, whatever. I'm not gonna.
You don't
for
care.
sale,
Like,
no, rest in peace. For sale, you're a great game.
For sale, you're a great game. It's no mark against how good you are. It just doesn't really make sense for you to do well in this tournament. I don't even know why you're here. Yeah. Pan Am versus Machikoro. We're in round 2.
Pan Am still, in my opinion.
I think I'm with you here. Pan Am, yeah.
The planes, bro. Like, it's just
funny. It was tougher for me to do Pan Am v Chinatown than it is for me to do Pan Am v Machikoro. I just think Pan Am has everything Machikoro has, but it's a deeper game. And it doesn't necessarily get more complicated. I think that'd be the one argument is Machikoro is easier to teach, but I'm with you.
Yeah, Machikoro is kind of, but not, I feel like not by all that much. I'd be curious. Yeah. Got to give it the mom test. We should make your mom play whichever game wins this thing.
Pan Am is moving to the semifinals. And we got Power Grid versus Lords of Vegas.
I'm biased towards Power Grid because I actually know how it plays.
I'm biased towards Lords of Vegas because I think the theme is so much more on point than Power Grid.
You're probably right. I wouldn't know, though. That's the only problem.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense to me for Lords of Vegas.
The funny thing about this particular matchup is, like, doesn't matter who fucking wins. They're going to lose to Pan Am. Right?
I think so.
Yeah. There's no way we could put Lords of Vegas at the top. We haven't even played it. Like, if it's so good, why the fuck haven't we played it? You know?
We don't know anybody with a copy.
Someone please mail us a copy.
It would be funny if Lords of Vegas wins this.
I won't let that happen.
So you're saying kill Lords of Vegas because you don't know it?
More or less, to be honest.
That's like, that's some black box shit. Oh, if you press this button in the box, then somebody in the world dies, but you get $1 million or whatever. Like,
it's how the average American votes.
Okay.
They just go like, I don't know the other guy. Check the box.
Okay, Power Grid wins. Power Grid wins by default due to our lack of knowledge.
The best part is that there's no argument.
The most gut decision. Okay, congrats. Our semifinals are Pan Am versus Power Grid.
Yeah. Well, hold on. We got to do these losers brackets real quick.
Yeah. Lords of Vegas versus Monopoly Deal.
Monopoly Deal.
Why, Tom? Would you like to explain?
The aesthetic, man. The aesthetic. Lords of Vegas,
not.
You know.
It's totally not because we don't know.
Casinos look good, and that's not what we want for society or something.
I also like Monopoly Deal moving on because the threat of Monopoly Deal going in the finals, I know is at least making like, I'm going to guess, I'm calculating. I'm going to say 67% of our audience is like losing their minds right now.
Oh, we should have
roughly that ratio.
The funny thing is that like this challenge board is live. Like we should have put the link in the chat and been like at here.
Made them go nuts. Yeah.
Like live react. Yeah. They don't know what we're saying about it.
Yeah. Machikoro versus Acquire in the losers bracket.
This is actually kind of tough. Like just as a matchup on its own. Anyone could really come out on top here. You know, if I were betting on DraftKings, I actually don't know which one I would parlay.
Yeah, it'd be very close odds. I think Machikoro personally sneaks it by just by being easier to teach to Monopoly players.
Acquire,
it's like really hard to evaluate moves, even for gamers.
I'm ultimately going to agree, and I'm sad about it because Acquire, I think, is much more interesting of a game.
Agreed.
Especially the more you've played it. But Machi Koro for noobs is going to take the cake here. It's going to win
for
out
sure.
with that last minute field goal or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, this is recommending that we do the next losers round first.
Okay.
So, Monopoly Deal versus Machi Koro.
It's got to be Monopoly Deal.
I mean, you're right. It is Monopoly Deal.
It probably shouldn't be this far. It should be Lords of Vegas. You know what?
So
this is our podcast. We can do whatever the fuck we want.
It's so funny that Monopoly Deal got wiped out in the first round, and it's just carrying through the losers bracket, creating just like pure anxiety for our listeners. Okay, going back to the actual semifinals, we got Pan Am v Power Grid. I think this is a no-brainer in my opinion, but I'm wondering if you feel the same way.
Yeah, you were going to say Power Grid, right? I'm kidding. Pan Am.
Yeah,
Pan Am crushes easily.
I think Pan Am is so much more Monopoly than Power Grid. I understand why these two made it this far, but like it's not even comparable.
Yeah. And of course, that means that Power Grid is the ultimate loser versus the ultimate loser, Monopoly Deal.
You don't think Power Grid beats Monopoly Deal?
Hell no. Where would the drama be in that? You know, it's just like real sports. We should rig this event so that it's more interesting for the timeline.
So pause. I just realized there's some crazy stuff going on here.
Okay.
Let me walk you through it. Monopoly Deal lost to Machi Koro in the first round. And then faced off against Machi Koro in the third losers bracket. And we were like, oh, this is a no-brainer. Monopoly Deal.
It was so much easier the second time. They knew what to do. Monopoly Deal learned what needed to be done.
We have such an underdog mentality with Monopoly Deal that when we saw the exact same matchup that we deliberated one way, we just instantly were like, oh no, Monopoly Deal wins this. When it like showed up.
I think we were like saying it was like kind of close. Like neither of us really had like the strongest argument for one over the other per se. Yeah. And then when it came back around, we were just kind of like, yeah, you know what? It earned it by now.
Well, it got meme status at that point.
That's true. That's true. The funny thing is that, like, genuinely, if it's like Monopoly Deal versus Power Grid, like in a vacuum, I'm like, like I want to like give the edge to Monopoly Deal for no reason other than that you don't have to bring a calculator to the game night. I
don't think I can justify Monopoly Deal beating Power Grid. I'm sorry. The joke, but it's literally just a joke at this point. Like there's no.
Oh, but
I think it's already funny enough that Monopoly Deal got this far, and
if
then
we
beat
don't
the
make
one that
Monopoly
it lost
Deal
against.
Win, then Pan Am is going to just crush Power Grid again. And it's like Deal versus Pan Am hasn't happened.
Versus what? Pan Am versus Monopoly Deal? Like what?
Yeah, Pan Am versus Deal. We have to at least deliberate.
For the sake of content?
For the sake of content.
Okay, for the sake of content, Monopoly Deal beats Power Grid. But let it be heard on record that I don't actually believe this.
I do.
Yeah, I know you do. You don't have to clarify.
Just because you can leave the calculator like in your pocket. That's literally kind of the only advantage it has.
Taylor is going to be screaming for half of this episode.
No, she'll love it. This is exactly what she would have wanted. I can tell.
Okay, the finals. Pan Am v Monopoly Deal.
Here it is. Look, I love my guy, Monopoly Deal. One of the greatest games of all time, probably. Not enough people are saying that, but Pan Am has little plastic planes.
It's like a game that's actually one of your favorites versus a game that you pretend is your favorite.
Yeah. Let's stop playing pretend. Monopoly Deal. You take the... I'm kidding. Pan Am wins, I think. That's the point. Yeah. Yes. I feel like I won somehow. doing this.
I'm looking at the list. I do think that we somehow got there. A lot of the decisions along the way were not sound. I'm just going to straight up say it.
Look, it happens with the losers bracket that sometimes, like, you lost in round one, you come back and you're like, oh, pwned, It happens.
Yeah. It happens when like performance is a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I were to look at like the 8 original games and you ask me like all around what game of these do you think is the best all around Monopoly replacement, I'd probably say Pan Am. So despite having really struggled to get there, I do think we got to the correct answer. We have to play Lords of Vegas.
That's the other important lesson we've learned this week. And I think on that note, that's going to do it for this week's episode, more or less.
Yep.
The moral of the story, play Pan Am if you haven't, and we will play Lords of Vegas. We'll come back to you next week and tell you which one is actually better. Thank you so much, everybody out there, for listening to this. I hope you had fun with us like we did. Thank you especially to Michael, Tyler, Devon, and Josh of the Boise RainBeaus for your cool segue music. And thank you to Bonehouse for letting us use your song Raw as our opening theme.
If you're liking the cast, tell friends, post it on Reddit, comment on BGG.
Always be plugging.
Yeah, always be plugging. You can also reach out directly at shelfstablecast@gmail.com. All this and more available in the show notes. If you like what we're doing and want to make more of it happen, consider subscribing on Patreon. You'll get access to bonus content and Discord. Tom, what are we doing next week?
Next week, Kenny, I think we talk about some of those games that are out there that board gamers aren't playing. These are the kind of games where whole armies of people are literally playing this game all the time, and they have never fucking heard of Board Game Geek. Talking about Mahjong, chess, that kind of stuff, right? Let's dig into it.
Sounds good, Tom. Bye,
All
everyone.
right. See you then.
Long live Pan Am.